Okay, so we are working with the Ladybird version 2 micro quadcopter, and we have recently run into problems where the center of the quad bracing here that holds the cage and the battery and the circuit board, this piece of plastic in the center has been an issue with breaking really easy. So we're taking the 3D printer and we are 3D printing some new center braces, different versions. We've already tried version 1, and let me switch over real quick just so I can get those pictures. Okay, so here's what the version 1 looks like printed and put on the quad. Here we are gluing it together. And here's the actual broken cage that we seem to keep running into. Here's the quad with the cage taken off. And here are 2 of them with the version 1s attached. So the plan is to go through and replace this cage with one of these prototypes. Prototype 1, 2, and 3. I think we're going to use 2 because it's lighter and it should be okay. I mean, we're getting better at flying too. Back here are different prototypes for trying to make a Phantom style body for the micro quad. We thought would be cool as a mold, and the first mold didn't turn out, so we have to revisit that. But for now, we need this center bracing working properly. So that is what we're going to do. Oh. So first of all, yeah. So first of all, we'll go through and take this off, and I'll show you. This is the version 1 prototype. Mount it to the quad. That's what it looks like. Take the battery off of here. Little tiny battery. It charges with a USB, which is really cool. And all I did was super glue a piece of Velcro on the bottom here, and that worked out really well. I did have to put, on this particular one, I had to put what is that, plumber tape on there to hold the arms in place. But the latest one that I printed, I did not have to do that. It was just a matter of trying to find those proper tolerances. So here's version 1. I'm sorry, that's not version 1. This is actually version 2. And you can see that it's much thinner and much lighter. It's not the greatest print either. But once it goes together, it stays together really well. And allows the arms to sit further back. So this version here, the arms actually stop right here, whereas this new version, the arms will go all the way in almost to this hexagon here. So I'm not sure if I want to use this one, or we printed out a few of these. They only take about 8 minutes to print, which is cool. We have this version here. It's a little bit beefier. The arms still sit back. I just basically made all these areas a little bit thicker. And that's an option. And then I even went thicker on this one and made this top section here thicker, because this is the area, if the arm's gonna break, this is where it's gonna break. But to be honest with you, I want to try this version first, because this is the lightest version, and it's also the version that has the arms all the way back here. So if we try this one first and this still breaks, then we know we can move on to these beefier versions. But for the meantime, I'm going to tape these together so I know which one goes with what. So give me a second. And I also have to grab the broken quad. Okay. So here's one that we've already glued together. This was the first prototype. And you'll notice that we actually put glue on these edges. You really want to just make this rock solid. And that's what we tried to do. But unfortunately the arms only sit back to here. So we ran into an issue where this peeled back. So we're not going to use that one. Let me go through and tape these together so I don't lose them. You see how that folds out? I was actually going to try to 3D print a hinge like that. It's a real thin area between the two, but it's so small. This is like ridiculously small to 3D print. So if this works, then we can move on to doing some crazy ideas with just putting spikes and stuff on them. Just make them real combat ready. Okay, so this is the one we're going to try out. Doesn't feel very strong. I mean, it's stiff because it's PLA, but we need to sand this a little bit so that they sit flush and give the super glue something to grab. And I need to grab the super glue. In the meantime, this quad has to be disassembled. And you can see what happened to the prototype number 1. You can see what happened here because the arms weren't sitting all the way back. Ended up breaking it, Just broke that little thin piece of plastic out. And I'm hoping, since they're going to be sitting back in here, it's going to be a little bit stronger. You'll have more in there. So we'll take all this off, and I'm going to need my flathead. I'm sorry, mini Phillips head. Another thing, just to let you know, you need to label your motors before you take them out. On here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's number 1, number 2, and then over here we'll have a 3. The last one has the 4. Can't really see the 4. That's alright. Okay, so let me get my miniature Phillips, which is somewhere around here. I think I landed to the neck. No. Use this one like that. I don't think I can use this one. Not too big. Can you see if there's a Phillips there, babe? Small Phillips.
Sure. When you say there, where do you mean?
In Nick's room.
Oh, yep.
Please. Because I don't think this one's going to cut it. Nah, this is too big. Ginormous. He's got to have it. It's got a yellow handle on top. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Nick, we were all up in your room. Okay. Take these out. I also relocated the screw holes, so hoping they'll line up. And I'll post this file so that anybody else out there that has a 3D printer and a broken microquad can fix it, or at least have a file to start with. You're going to want a pair of needle nose too when you do this. Okay, there's the broken one. Pretty strong. They're flying low tonight. Now you'll notice on the bottom of this board, on these screws, I mean, they have these little rubber grommets, and if you pull it off of there, you'll see it has a little lip on it, and that's the part that's supposed to go into the circuit board. So normally I take all these screws out, but I was going to actually try tonight to see if I can get them to stay in there while I'm working on it. That would be a lot easier. See what happens. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. We're going to attempt to use this light duty one. I'm afraid to do it, but actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the heavier duty, guys, just because it's Nick we're talking about. Just kidding. No, I just think that it'll be good. Let's do that. It'll be better. Let's take this tape off here. Get some sandpaper. Because don't forget, this is still set back. I mean, look how far the arms go back in there. It's going to be fine.
You have the sandpaper?
I have some sandpaper somewhere. I have a sanding block. Courtesy of Al, or as we like to call him, Blind Flight. Little sanding blocks, and slug of Pepsi. Super glue I need. Ran out of super glue.
You did?
Mm-hmm. So I've been using these things. If I can get them. I mean, I'm not out, but look. These little quads are pretty powerful. It's amazing. I was able to put, huh?
I think they're super powerful.
Yeah, I was able to put a, you know, I think you could carry a miniature camera on, because I was carrying this thing on them, which is like a little LED light. Has its own batteries in it and everything. We just put that right on the bottom and we could fly around. It was awesome. So I'm not worried about the weight issues.
No.
Sand this down a little bit. You don't, when you're sanding the PLA, you don't really have to sand it much, because the heat, it doesn't take hardly any heat at all before it'll start melting, you know. And the friction would create a lot of heat. And all I really want to do is rough it up to get the super glue to stick, and to make it even like that. Plus, if you go too far, you'll end up making these too small for the arms to fit into. Which I want to check, actually, because I might have to clean them out. Oops. This one definitely has to be cleaned out. Good Lord. What did you do, Trish?
Oh,
This is a super glue. Oh, super glue I was talking about. This is all I got. Watch it come busting out of there. Nope. There's hardly any in this tube. It feels like it's filled up, but it's not. Anyway, see how that works. Razor knife. Now the last one, I really didn't have to clean much of this junk out of here, but I do see a little bit of a blob here. I guess you really don't want to dig in too much, do you?
No.
I don't know why I just did that. I don't know why.
Whatever. That was it.
It's like right on the ends here, there's a little blob when the printer came around. It just left a little tiny nodule right there and right there, right where it goes in. So get rid of that. Now, let's see if this fits like it should. Okay, that's better. Where's the hole? Yeah, that's a good fit. Sweet. Oh, another thing we noticed about these quads as we rebuilt them is that if your quad is just spinning, like after you do a rebuild or something and it's just constantly spinning when you take off, you think there's something wrong with one of your motors or maybe your prop is bent. What we found is that if your arms are not perfectly straight up and down, if they're twisted a little bit, it can cause major problems. It'll cause that spinning. So if you experience that, it's something to check. Yeah, save you from going through all that hassle we went through. Alright, so we're just going to go through here and put some glue on these braces. You don't want to get glue down where the arm actually sits. Just on these top parts that are going to meet. Now at this point you could spray the other side of this, but I think I'll do that after. I'll rub that around a little bit, make sure it gets all over it. Make sure it gets all over my fingers. Okay, now if you have a couple of these little bowl clips, they come in handy for this next part. Make sure you go through and line up these squares or you will not be able to get the arm in there properly. So just wiggle it around, you know, till you get it right. Looks pretty good. Put those bowl clips on there, that'll give it some good pressure. And then I like to go back through and glue these edges and then kind of rub it in there, you know, just between where the arm slot holes are, just like that. Do the same thing on this one. Now I've got a little bit of kicker here from our local hobby shop, Bob's Hobbies and Crafts. But as you can see, or maybe you can't see, I am almost completely out. Basically I have what's in the tip, what's in that straw. If anybody wants to sponsor us with some kicker, that would be sweet. Okay, that looks good. So I got it on there, looks pretty good. That's probably why I'm out. I put too much on there. Now we can remove these. I like to swap sides with them. Like this. And then I'll put some more super glue on these that we missed the first time. Now remember, you got your kicker, so try not to touch the tip too much. Actually, can't help it. And that'll make a nice strong bond, like a shell. Anywhere the if I had the super glue that was real thin CA, it would wick into this plastic. It would be fantastic to have. But I'm out. Yeah. This is a little thicker. This is like medium, and it still does a good job. I just think that the other one would do a really good job. Now we could make landing gear and all kinds of stuff. Let's see if that's even gonna set. I think it's already set. Yep. It's already in there. That's probably the best it's gonna be right there. Alright, so there's our little body piece. We'll call it the spine, quad spine, the backbone, something. Alright, I gotta clear out these holes a little bit. I see there's some junk in some of these holes, so clear this out just a little bit. See how it's kind of blobbed right on that end? Just get rid of it. And another thing, it's probably unnecessary, but I like to do it.
Sorry for the noise.
Is just scratch this up a little bit, try to even it out. It's alright, babe. It's not like I'm doing a show or something.
So what? It's not usually that loud.
Okay. I wonder if you could make a harmonica with a 3D printer. You know, all the little flutes and everything. Be cool. Cool project. There's still a little bit of plastic here. Ouch. Here. And that looks pretty good. Now, the hole positions on this particular piece I've moved because the arms are in back further, and I mic'd everything. I'm not sure how well it's going to line up. I just kind of a guess at this point. First thing I'm going to do is mount the circuit board, and you have to line up the holes the best that you can on that on that first one. Just try to find that little starter hole, which can be hard to do. And then you're kind of making your own way, your own threads. I like to go in like this, and the screw actually comes through here into the carbon, so you have to back it back out a little bit. You don't want it through there yet because you have to get the carbon in there. Line up the next one like that. Guess they go all the way down and then back it out. And just work your way around like that. but not least, that one does not look lined up. There we go. You'll know when it gets in there. Okay, back it out. Okay, so we've got our spine connected to our circuit board now. So this is the basic unit here. This is always the back of these little quads where the motors are. So, or where the plugs are, I'm sorry. So I'm going to look on here for number 1, which is this one. Push it in there. Pretty good. And 1 and 2 are black. Good. Let's go with 3. Three might need to be cleaned out a little. Oh. There's 3. And here's 4. When you're doing it, make sure your wires are, well, they will be facing up. And there's 4. Now, make sure they're all in there and they're all straight, best you can. And then you can add the couple more turns that's needed to bring this down into the carbon. It's not much. I mean, you want this to be a little shock absorber. You can look at it, you can see that one's a little too tight, I think. That one's a little too loose. That looks pretty good right there. So, there is the quad. So now, tuck these back. Maybe bring these forward. Wire management. The body. You definitely want to hold these ends as these carbon rods as you're pushing this body on. This body is made out of some tough material. Make the whole quad out of that. We can vacuum form this material, whatever it is. It's super tough. Alright, man, there it is. The only thing left to do is we need to rough this up a little bit because the super glue does not really like to stick to the PLA very well, so I usually rough up this bottom for the Velcro for the battery mount. Be right back with some Velcro. We're using the female Velcro on the quad itself and the male on the batteries. All right. cut a little bit off of here. A little bit long. Take some super glue if the hardener didn't get to it yet. Oh no, that's good. Put some on there. Put way too much on there. Okay. I think we ran into some issues with the super glue and the glue on the bottom of the Velcro, where it was like interfering with each other, turning it into a gel. But we'll see how it works. You hit with this hardener real quick. Sweet. Okay, now get this out of here. Slap this on. And that is your new quad. Strong as an ox quad. No more broken pieces. You can see I saved a couple of them so I could take those pictures. But you know, here's the cage from the other one. It's just not very high impact plastic. I mean, it falls apart. Looks like it was made out of Rice Krispies. It's just junk. So if you run into this problem with your quad, grab one of these files, download it, 3D print it, make yourself a new body and backbone, and you can start flying again. We've got, like I said, these are prototypes at this point. We've got lighter versions. We're going to have versions that are going to be stronger. This one's really fat. If I run into an issue on this particular one where the arm rips out again, which I seriously doubt it because it's moved in almost to the center, I'm going to try this one out, which has if you look here, it's actually a lot thicker in this area and this area. This whole thing's been extruded outward on both sides to try to make up for that thickness to where it's going to want to rip. I mean, we do some serious damage with these quads. I'm surprised they're still there. Hey, I wonder if you could do a double. How cool would that be? Snap both of these on here and create a pod that you can land in water. Anyway, let's see if it works. Let me grab Nick's controller. Okay, sorry about that. Couldn't find Nick's controller. Oh yeah, thanks Al. Al sponsored the 3M Velcro, which we love. Alright, so I have mine here. I really should redo mine while I'm sitting here, but you can see if you look at this quad and I put this one on top, if I try to line up the arms, you can see mine is extended. This is mine on the top. You can see it's extended out further all the way around. Back here, out there, it's just this first prototype. The measurements were off. So this one's awesome, man. I really want to put it on mine, but I'm not scared. I'm going to.
Are you?
Why not?
There's no reason why not.
Let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's do them both.
Choo!
God bless you.
Thank you.
Because if I don't do it now, I'll delay until it gets messed up.
Sure.
So, lucky you guys get to check out both of them. Being done. Oh wait, let me make sure I got everything marked here. I don't. I'll grab my trusty magic marker somewhere. I can never find it, ever. I don't know how many black magic markers I've gone through.
You want a full-blown Sharpie?
Yeah.
There you go.
They've disappeared into space. Okay.
It's very hard to keep a cup full of pens or markers around here.
Yep. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys these end caps. These are just little caps that come off, and they have the little rubber feet on the bottom. They also have, if you look, it's kind of molded off to one side here, and that is to allow for the wire to pass through. So you kind of line that up with the wiring on the back side there when you put it on. Okay, there's one. Doesn't look like a one, but that's what it's supposed to be. And two. And three. Counterclockwise from the top down. 4. Do it any way you want. That's just the way I'm doing it. Alright. Let's get all the screws out. Let's pop this out. Let's get this. Here's this body. It's not broken yet, but it's just not ideal. Get that off. Alright, so should I go with the super lightweight one, which is this one? Super lightweight and the arms are moved in. Yes, that's what I'm doing. It's very fragile. Okay. Hopefully we don't have enough super glue. They don't give you much in here. No. Okay, one of two things is going on here. Oh crap. I was just about to say, either it's clogged or I'm out. It was clogged.
It was clogged?
Mm-hmm. As soon as I opened it.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Dang, man, I'm putting way too much on here. My fingers are saying save some for the quad. Oh crap. Everything's sticky. Alright, let's see if we can do this. There's not much room to work on this one. To put the glue on, there's just not a lot of surface area to work with.
Tiny.
Yeah. Alright, bring out the bull clips. Here's a trivia question for you. Why are they called bull clips? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know either. Maybe the guy who invented them, his nickname was Bull.
Good one. Or maybe the guy that invented them was trying to hold parts that were gluing together, you know, and every time they kept falling apart, he's like, this is bull. So then he invented the bull clip.
Maybe.
Oh, come on. Don't fail me now. Not now. Ah, I'm out of the hardener. Really need this hardener too. Dang it. Don't fail me now. I think we've reached the end of the hardener. Whoops. Let's see if this works. Maybe we can pour it on. There's a little bit in the bottom. Get it evaporated before it even poured out. Alright. A little bit more. Switching sides. Has anybody answered the bull question yet? Bull clip question? Anybody know that?
Nope.
Nobody knows. Alright. Dang it. They do have other hardener. I think about those as well. Ah,
Yay!
yes. Thank you, Mercury Adhesives. Mercury Adhesives, the sponsor for the quad rebuild. Alright. We make them better. This has got a few hairs on it from the print. I'm surprised it printed. This one was really small. Weighs nothing. I mean, this is basically a couple of lines and extrusions going across here. Just like two lines. Makes that noise too. Alright. Now, I should have probably marked which one was what on the prototypes. This time I am going to get a little bit smarter to sand the bottom before I put it all together. There. Alright. Get it done. I also, on this prototype, I added a little bit of a cup on these holes, these pinholes, because the last the first prototype, you really couldn't find the holes. I had to go through and pre-mark them with a small screwdriver. So this should help. We'll see. And everything seems to be lining up pretty well. By the way, I wanted to do a shout out to George for an awesome build, Laverne for an awesome build. Thank you guys both for posting in the open build section. It's a temporary section right now, but it will grow and it will be moved to the actual open build site. I also want to do a shout out to 3D Mon, Sean, for sharing the cubed extruder 3D model. His modeling skills are unbelievable. Now that was a really, really good job. I was checking that out in detail, man. You've really, it's amazing. Pro, dude, you're pro.
Ken said he will send some kicker in our cows.
No, Ken, you don't have to do that, man. I appreciate it, though. I'm just messing around. I'll find some somewhere. Or I'll have to do what I did before. Just wait.
Good things come to those who wait, you know.
No, they don't.
Yes.
They take forever. Okay, this particular one right here is giving me a little bit of an issue. I don't know why, but this screwdriver has a slight bend to it, making it a little bit tougher to work with.
Sun in your eyes too?
The sun's in my eyes, and my hands are greasy.
Sticky from the kicker.
I really don't know why that's not going in there. I don't want to break my circuit board. Let's back it out and check out the situation. It's lined up, I think. Hard to tell. But if you don't line up with these holes, you're going to have a hard time with getting it into the actual carbon. Now that one, there's something messed up with that one. I don't know what it is. But I'm sure we'll find out when we get around to trying to install the arm, which is where we're at now. Alright, this one's still too deep. There's one. This one's too deep. Get in there. There's two. Okay. 3 and 4. Okay, that one's too deep. There we go. And this is the one, this is the problem child right here, I believe. Yeah. There. A couple of them came out too far. That one's good. That one's good. Get this one first. This one just did not hit the mark. That one's good. Let's see. Now that we have the carbon in there, we should be able to push on it pretty good. I'm going to take that off of there real quick. See if I can look under there better, because I just can't see what I'm doing. See if I'm even lined up with the hole at all. Aha. It's a little bit off. Oh, it looks like it's in there. Oh yeah. I'm biting into something now. Okay. Perseverance wins. Sweet. Alright. Set up our... Here's where you adjust your gyro sensitivity. I haven't even messed with it yet. This port here, from what I understand, is for LEDs, and you know, they have these same exact quads, and they have a squirt gun thing on the bottom, and they have a another version has little Nerf darts on the bottom that you can shoot at people. So this port is kind of like an auxiliary port, from what I can understand. And you could probably set up your own LEDs on there if you wanted to. We could probably take this pin light LED, take it apart, and just run that directly into there with the switch. I don't know, obviously if they have the Nerf gun launcher and everything on there, one of these wires is a signal wire, so you could in theory turn it on and off. But I don't have the Nerf launcher, so I don't even know if there's a circuit board on that, or if all the control work is done here on this board. I'm not sure. And I don't care to have it, to be honest. Now they do have another one that's a I think it's the same quad body, but it has a camera on it, and the controller, this part of the controller that comes with it, right here, which is just a sticker here, has an LCD on it, and then it has a little screen, or a little sun shield that flips up like this, and two of them that flip out like that, and you got a little camera, and you can fly around with the camera. It's attached to the bottom of the quad, so you can get that first person view going on, even with these little guys, which is kind of cool. Alright, so we're set up there. All we need to do at this point is get a little bit of glue on. Actually, before I even do that, let me get my Velcro ready, in case it sets up real quick. Going on right there, so it's a little bit long again. Cut some off. Alright. Dang it. Can't believe I'm resorting to this crappy little super glue. Although, it worked. So that's a good thing. It's blobbing out. I don't have much of an area to glue to either on this one. Maybe on the next design we could work something out to where the top one is hollow, but the bottom one has a little brace here, or not brace, a platform, so you actually have something to glue to. Alright.
Sorry, blind flavor. Could back them all out and start little by little.
That's basically what we did.
Basically what we did.
That's how we roll. Little by little. Okay. Alright, let me hit that with the last remaining kicker. Oh, it's coming out like a waterfall. Come on, baby. Oh, God, it stinks. Ooh, it's hot. Like PA melting hot. Alright, cool. Think we're good. Steal my battery back from Nick's squad. Nice try, Nick. Put his crappy battery on his. Drain it out. Short it out. Just kidding. It's combat. This is war, man. Look at me, I'm helping the enemy. You know, maybe this one. I have to say thanks to Bruce Ewu for for turning us onto these things. They're just so cool, man. They're so much fun. We got these from nitroplanes.com. Alright, so here's how you initiate it. You basically plug it in, which is weird. Your transmitter's off, which you would normally never do. But on these you do. And then you plug it in. It's a really hard plug. Everything has to be lined up on it. Wish they would have just went with JSTs. Flip it over. Turn your transmitter on. There you go. Turn the transmitter on, and then you have to push the stick all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom, and then you wait, and then this will click. Now, if I didn't have the cover on, you would see that there's a red LED in there that comes on. This thing has two modes. It has an X mode, like our extreme mode, and if you go back and forth, there's a whole sequence you have to do, but if you go back and forth right here on the elevator stick 4 times, you'll have alternating green, red blinking LED, and then you can then you can fly it in X mode, which gives you the ability to do flips and whatnot, which I have not been able to do in the house. Alright, so let me see if I can move this camera up. And let's see. Alright, let me check my trims. It's flying though. Whoa. When you hear that beep, you're in the center. If you are, it's got dual rate button here on this particular controller. If you want low rates, you want that blinking. High rates, you would do that and it would be steady. Can you even see the quad? No. How about now?
good flying, babe.
Thanks for that little area. Oh man, my camera just came off. Alright. Sorry guys, my camera just fell. So that is how you can replace your body on your quad using your 3D printer. Just make a new one. It's pretty cool. And we will have the files up there so you guys can print your own, and it's going to be awesome. Hopefully we'll have more versions of 3D printers coming out so you can start printing your own stuff. We want to really start tweaking and getting into the 3D printer stuff. It's just really cool to be able to do things like this, projects like this. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope it helped somebody out, because I know I was really bummed out when I picked up my quad and the leg was hanging off because the cage was made out of junk. I mean, it is literally junk. So hopefully that helps somebody out. And thanks for watching. We will talk to you guys soon. I'm going to go fly my quad. Have a great night, everybody. God bless. And we'll see you on the platform.